Good morning, everybody. It's Kentario, and I'm back again with Christ and comic books. And today we're hitting on One Piece, Volume 90, Daggum 3. So first off, let me start off by acknowledging everybody. Look, my new man cave, my new room. I get to do all the recording, all the editing in this room. I did a lot of moving, as you can see here. Let's go check out my shelf. Okay, so first off, let's not neglect our biblical studies books. Okay, a lot of different books. As you saw, Bible, there's a lot of Bibles and a lot of books to study scripture with. Okay, of course, I got that for the Queen. That's my high school book. Ignore that. Michael Jackson, he's the greatest. But then we got my babies. Look at all these babies. Got books behind them. Don't be confused. Boom. Okay, so it's legit. It's not for show. I have all 93 volumes of One Piece. And including, of course, the big time hit right now, My Hero Academia. And then, of course, my other series. I'm not a one-trick pony. I like to collect, some love stories. Some of the ones that people don't like, I truly love. D. Gray Man is top chart. I'll do a video on D. Gray Man. That way you guys can kind of see where this one's a big hit. And maybe I'll compare it to Blue Exorcist, because Blue Exorcist really be slacking in my opinion. Not even joking. This is the rest of my books, guys. This is what we got. That being said, let's talk about One Piece. Now, we're not really talking about the Wano Arc. I'm not going to get into too many spoilers. Be prepared. But I'm not getting all into spoilers. But I did need to acknowledge a couple of factors to, One Piece. The successes of One Piece, but also, the downside to One Piece. That even I'm starting to realize. I can't tell you with how many people I'm just like, One Piece is the greatest. One Piece is the best. You really need to read One Piece. One Piece is so awesome. Oh my goodness, I think you like One Piece. Like, I've come at people like this in so many different facets. And even one of my best buddies who hates being told what to like and what not to like, completely denied me. And then he finally started reading and it was like, I don't like it. Keep trying, dude. Keep reading it, man. He didn't like it. And then finally he gets to, I think he finally got to Chopper's arc, and I think that started building his interest. And then when he got to Water 7 is when it really just drew him in, was getting into the Water 7 arc. If you don't know what I'm talking about, when I say Water 7, I honestly think one of two things. You should either not be watching this video, or you need to get into One Piece and get to where Water 7 is so you know what we're talking about. A pretty deep arc, but if I do say so myself, and actually has one of the best backstories in it, which is another argument in and of itself, which we can do a video on, are the backstories of One Piece. Good idea, right? Okay, so One Piece Volume 93. So this is the Wano Arc. And in the Wano Arc, you have where the Kozuki clan is looking to overthrow the current Emperor Orochi. And the problem in this moment is that the Oiran, which is the most beautiful woman in the city, who was supposed to be getting married to the Emperor, has been killed because she chose to protect this little girl who's been like a family member to her. And of course, so she got killed off by the main guy here. His name is Kiyoshiro. Pretty cool, by the way. There's a lot of Japanese history there. But I'm not going to get into all the Japanese history. That's going to make the video take even longer. But, so, Kiyoshiro, who's someone that works for the Emperor, who is also a mob boss, ends up killing her off. So in this volume, they're leading up to the funeral for her. Of course, the Emperor is shedding all of his tears, all of his crying. And then come to find out, the Emperor and his people have found out how the rebels have been communicating and planning to come and overthrow the emperor. Now, for me, as I was reading that, I'm just like, hold on, when did he even find out that, when did they even find out all of this? Like, I got a little bit confused. And then they kept bringing in this dude that won't stop smiling, and they introduced how he has an influence on this city and getting people to constantly be smiling. And so that's how they portrayed this, and it was just like, whoa, man, this is, okay, weird, but, roll with it, right? And as I'm reading, I'm starting to feel this drowning phase, because they're getting into Zoro trying to get his black sword back, which he got from, I think his name was Ryumi, who was the zombie guy he fought in the Thriller Bark arc, and he's trying to get his sword back, but he couldn't get it back from this big fat bandit who collects weapons on this bridge. And I'm just like, come on, Zoro, this should be easy for you. But now he's fighting this dude who uses scythes, and he's struggling, and he's getting stabbed in the shoulder. I'm just like, why are he struggling against such basic opponents? Like, that's where I started to get that drain. Like, I'm seeing stuff I shouldn't be seeing. I should see Zoro shink, done. I should see Zoro shink, done. Got my sword back, done. Granted, makes the story too simple if it's like that. But at the same time, you're dragging something on that shouldn't be dragging on. Like, that fight should have took him 2 seconds, man. That's just my opinion. Now, they did do it fairly when it came to Luffy, because Luffy is in prison with Sea Prism Stone on his hands, and he's like, hey, I'm getting my training in, baby. Like, so this is, Luffy is in training mode, and he's just banging out with all of these people. Now, here's something that's interesting about him being in that mindset, and we'll get back to, the point of this video. The thing about Luffy being in this mindset is this is core Luffy since day one. Luffy, yes, was strong since the get-go, but Luffy's always training when he's in the middle of battle, and it really is what builds up his character and his capabilities throughout every fight, is he's learning from each of those experiences. So he's always been like that, and so that's what makes him such an awesome character. Another thing about Luffy, too, to kind of do a flashback there, when it came to me actually getting into One Piece and becoming a huge fan that I am, that made me collect 93 books of this series, I'm telling you, there's some commitment there to have collected 93 books, right? So the thing about that is when I first got into One Piece, it's like, oh, cool, pirate, we got an adventure. This is going to be a great story, and you're just excited about the adventure, right? But then you find out the character only stretches. But then you see him stretching, but using it differently than you've ever seen a stretchy character be used. Now, me personally only know of 2 popular stretching heroes, and that being Mr. Fantastic and Plastic Man. Okay, so Mr. Fantastic is from DC, otherwise known as Reed Richards, and then you have Plastic Man. The thing about Plastic Man is in DC, he is actually just, as far as recognition and attention, he's low tier. As far as capabilities, he's top tier. He's actually on par with Superman as far as being able to kill him, because he can change the matter of his form, so he could turn into kryptonite to kill him. He could enter Superman's body and kill him. There's a lot of different abilities that he possesses that would make him top tier as far as power, but he's not a huge fan-based character. No one really likes him, and he didn't really get a good shine moment until Injustice, Gods Among Us, which is a great DC comic in and of itself. Now, leading into Reed Richards, his stretching ability truly never proven to be something that contributes to the success of the Fantastic Four. It's actually always been his intelligence. So you don't get to, again, highlight the ability to stretch in this moment. So it's not something where you're just like, man, I wish I had stretch powers. Like, you don't get into that thought process when you see him fight. But when you see Luffy fight, boy, Luffy be banging. Luffy be throwing them hands all day long. And he'll like, I'm going to hit you in the face from 10 feet away. Bang, got him. I'm going to kick you. Bang, got him. Rapid punch. Bah, 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 bah. Like, it's amazing the way that they illustrate headbutts with him stretching his neck is some of the funniest stuff. I remember in the Arlong arc, he wanted to catch a fish, so he tied his fingers together, stretched them, and made like a fishnet and caught Arlong. It was smart. The way that they illustrate this stuff is smart. Now, the thing to keep in mind with Luffy now, when we're in the Wano arc, is he's focusing on the development of his haki. Why is that so important? Is they're taking that concept of mid-moment training and development for Luffy, And doing that in the version of I'm not training my abilities and coming up with new ideas for my stretching, but now I'm coming up with new ideas and abilities with my haki. And it's more of a strict training from a strict master. Raleigh Silvers is his teacher. My foot is killing me, everybody. My foot is killing me. Oh my God, I'm sorry. So, he's taking what he's learned from him to control his haki. And he, of course, has high-quality haki because he's from the Will of D, so he has the colors of the king, so he can do exponential things. So Raleigh has been trying to teach him how to do all of these great things, so he's trying to learn how to control that power, right, which is being able to hit his opponent without actually touching them, which just like a palm strike is what he's learning to do right now. And so while he's in prison, he's been helping this old dude, which we find out is actually an old mob boss. So you're finding out like the history of what's been going on here in the midst of this volume. Again, this is a trademark One Piece move. One Piece brings you into where, okay, Luffy's got to help these people, but Luffy doesn't know anything about these people. Now, the thing that they also do, which I never really focused on, is they're introducing a lot of history, but you don't see Luffy concerned with the history. Luffy isn't, and it's not a good thing and it's not a bad thing, but there are people paying attention to it, right? So and I'm trying not to be all over the place, but that's the thing about Luffy. Luffy knows where he's weakest. Luffy knows that I'm not a genius. I'm not going to be able to grasp history. Luffy knows that I'm not going to be able to navigate my boat. Luffy knows I'm not going to be able to cook food that I would love to enjoy all the time. I'm not going to be skilled at that. I'm not going to be able to beat every opponent. I'm not going to be able to, there's a lot he knows that he's not going to be able to do. So that's where his friends come in. And in this case, that's where Robin is so valuable, because Robin is the one that keeps track of history. And so those are the interesting pieces to his friendships, is they fill in the gaps where he is weakest. So although he's not able to pay attention to the history, other characters are getting that knowledge and applying it and are able to also bring it to Luffy's attention to some extent. So they're bringing out the history of Wano into the story. So you find out the old guy he's been helping was actually an old mob boss, top tier capable fighter. And Luffy and him are fighting alongside each other in this small tournament. I hate this so bad. I'm so sorry. Okay, so it goes into the next portion being that Zoro, the young lady that he saved, was actually the sister. Okay, sorry. Momonosuke is the son of Odin, who was the emperor at the time before he got overthrown by Orochi. And Zoro ended up saving his sister, Hiyori, who didn't go... there's a whole long thing there, which I'm not going to get into, but she stayed back in the past, so she aged after these 20 years. However, her brother and several other clansmen were sent into the future, 20 years into the future, with the devil fruit powers of their mother. So it's trippy. It's a lot to explain. I'll have to do a video on explaining what happened with the Wano Arc. But anyway, so Zoro saved the sister. Momonosuke is on his way to where everybody is. And so there's this whole long, big story there. But anyway, with that being said, you're getting a lot of that history. You're bringing in all of the pieces a little bit at a time. And they're doing it very slowly. And again, that's where the drowning feeling is coming from. Just like, come on, can we just get on with the story already? Can we get to the purpose of these actual fights? And Luffy's fighting his way out of prison, technically, because it took the Sea Prism off him. Anyway, so they're leading up to the funeral portion of, for that Oiran, who I was telling you guys about, who, from what I can tell, was he already this whole time? It's not clear. They don't clear that up for you, but you can just simply identify that because the little girl that he said that the little girl that the Oiran was saving is now with Hiyori, who Zoro just saved. So that kind of clues you in. Okay, that must be her. She never really died, but you don't see her suffering from injuries from having it cut by the Kyoshiro. So that's where I get confused, right? But anyway, long story short. So the guy that's always been smiling, who been helping that town that's been smiling. So what he does is he goes and gets money from his daughter, who's the little girl that's always smiling, that he already is currently with Zoro. right? That's his daughter. She works in the main city, and she gives her money to her father. Her father uses that money to help that small town because that town is suffering. They don't really have any food. They're not able to make money like they need to. So he's been providing for that town, even though they don't have much. They're always smiling, which is, you know, you're sitting there reading it, and you're just like, man, that's tragic, but that's so sweet, right? And so you're just kind of being drawn in by that in and of itself. And you're still wondering about, what's this guy about? What's this father really about? So you come to find out he's been captured. He's about to be killed off because he's actually like a general for Odin when Odin was rebelling against the emperor in the past. He was working a part of the Kozuki clan. And what he actually was doing was he was putting the fear into the emperor by passing out flyers to make the emperor think that the rebellion was happening when those that were rebels weren't actually making any moves to reveal themselves at all. So he set it up to where the emperor would reveal his weakness, his vulnerability, his fears, make himself look crazy because there is, quote unquote, no real rebellion happening right now. And so in them sparking that fear and revealing how weak and cowardly the emperor is, it's making the people want to rise up. It's making his own soldiers not trust him. And then they send them in as this guy is revealing all of this to come and shoot him dead. Now the deep, oh my gosh, it gets so deep. You have his daughter running from where they were being housed at with Zoro, from her place all the way to where her father is. You have the people from the smiling town coming from where they are all the way to this execution because they transponded it with one of the transponder snails. So they're revealing everything that's happening right now. And so as he's talking, everyone can hear him bashing on the emperor and revealing all the secrets of the emperor and making the emperor look bad. So everyone's on their way to come to where he is. And while they're on their way, oh my gosh, man, like they're smiling and then they see him get executed, and it was just a complete firing on him, like firing guns. Bah, 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 bah. He's getting shot up, man. You see him get shot up. You see him fall off this cross, like, and the cross is high up too. So you see him fall off that cross, hit the ground on his face, and like the people are still smiling, and you see them laughing and they're crying still. And this is where you get this revelation, because Zoro's like, dude, why are you guys smiling? Why are all of you laughing? This is not a laughing matter. What's wrong with you? In this moment, you find out that they had the original smile, the smile candy that Doflamingo was making, where those kids were becoming giant and big back in the beginning of New World. So these people have had that fruit. That's the reason it was called smile, is because it nullifies all other emotions except smiling and laughing. So in the midst of where they're actually being sad, the only thing they can express is smiling and laughter. And that's where you get that revelation of this is the real impact of the smiling fruit that they've been trying to distribute in this drug that they've been trying to share across the world. And it's just like, wow. And again, like, so they get the flashback for this guy, and then you get the revelation about the smile fruit, and you're just like, whoa, I'm drawn right back into the story again. Where's volume 94? That's literally what happened. Like, I was bored for a second, like, for times on end, and then they're like, all right, we're going to kill this dude off. Wait, who is this guy? This is his backstory. Oh, my goodness. He used to be more serious than he is now? Well, he had the smile fruit. He can't help but smile now. His daughter didn't have the smile fruit. She can't help but smile now. This entire poor town didn't have the smile fruit. They can't help but smile now. But this is what they've done with it. They used it to the best of their ability, and even more so, this general used this as an opportunity to make the emperor look bad, and this sets up for the rebellion all the more. There's a lot more enemies now, a lot more supporters for the rebellion, for the Kozuki clan, and I look forward to what's going to happen in 94. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I hope y'all have a blessed evening, and y'all take care.